The story is called The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. The wind was a torrent of darkness. Among the gusty trees, the moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He had a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with nary a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewelled twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle, under the jewelled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered, and clanged in the darkened yard, and he tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. Then he whistled a tune to the window. And who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into a long black hair. And it goes on from there. Hi, my name is Mark Lewis. I am a professional storyteller. I've been a professional storyteller for over 40 years. In my career, I've been lucky. I've won 2 Emmys for what I do. I've been on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I've done other ancient TV, done commercials, done some educational movies, do voiceovers. My voice is in the ride, Pirates of the Caribbean, at Disneyland and Disney World. Do lots of different stuff, commercials, television, movies. But what I love best is being able to tell a story. Because storytelling is actually the world's oldest profession. It's older than the other one they talk about, because you have to tell the story first, and then you definitely have a story to tell later. Storytelling has been around since the beginning of time, and every human being understands the nature of story. Beginning, middle, end. And my favorite thing about storytelling is the performance of it, because storytelling only happens in present time. It only happens in the now. And the coolest thing about it is, the way I explain it too is that, do you remember the 35 millimeter slides? Okay, the little images and they shine the light through it. Okay, so the way the story comes to me is that back in my imagination, because the imagination is the most powerful thing on the planet. In my imagination, a picture of the story drops in like a slide. And my light, I see it. Oh, that's so cool. And then I shine my light through it. And I send it out to the audience. Okay, now the audience, it goes into their heads and it registers on their imagination. Then they shine their light through it. And it comes back to me. So the story takes place right here between us. So I can tuck and I can add and I can subtract. Oh, that needs to be a little more blue, or yeah, that's right in the pocket. And literally, I've been in the middle of a story I've told for years, and new stuff will come up. I wrote my first story when I was in high school. Yeah, that was a long time ago. And I was madly in love with a young woman who was not madly in love with me, which is reality. So I wanted her to notice me, so I wrote her a story. It was called The Revised Standard Bystander. And the whole thing is puns. It takes place in the far-off land of Nito, in the tiny kingdom of Cog. So everything takes place in Cognito. The whole thing. It goes and up, depending on your view of puns, it goes up or down from there. I wrote it, illustrated it, bound it, gave it to her. She went, yeah, thanks, and threw it away. And I learned a very valuable lesson in that moment. And that lesson was, when you do everything you think you need to do to get what you think you want, and you know you've done all the steps, and you get to that door and it slams in your face, your job as a human is to get up, wipe the blood off your nose because it hurts like crazy, and look for the window that just opened. And the window for me was being a storyteller. And again, like I said, 40 years I've been doing this. I've done for audiences of 2. I've done storytelling for audiences of 10, 15,000. It's crazy sauce, and it's the best. And people say to me, Mark, what's the secret to being a great storyteller? And I tell them the secret is, it can be summed up in 3 words. Make it real. If you as the storyteller can see it and touch it and taste it and feel it and make it real to you, the audience will see it too. Because human beings, like I said, human beings understand story. And it's all about pictures. So I could say, so to tell the story, I would have to say, you have to really be able to, smell the rose. You gotta taste the porridge. You have to see the dragon. You have to make it real. As a storyteller, you have to allow the audience to own it. You have to allow them to make it their own. I can say, the young woman stood at the podium, her hair tumbled to just below her waist. Her slippers peeked out from under her fur-trimmed gown, which was laced to the neck where an emerald brooch hung on a gold chain, and she was slowly turning the pages in a large, leather-bound book. Not everybody saw that picture, but every picture was different, because that picture was perfect for them. So you as the storyteller have to surrender control and allow them to have it. And the most exciting part of any of this is that moment when everybody is one in the story. Remember, it's never about you. It's always about the story and the audience. Because without them, without the story, you're nothing. Without the audience, it's called rehearsal. It's about trust. You, the story, the audience.